you remember your first home run?
I do, actually.
Alexis Pupillo.
So it was Mother's Day. I was 13 years old. It was just my mom there. I had a blue Louisville bat, and I still have it to this day. It's in my room. First pitch, I hit this ball, and I'm like rounding first base, and I didn't even know that it was over. And I like see the left fielder just like watch the ball go over her head. And I like, both my hands are like covering my face, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is insane.
In Nashville, first pitch swinging, let it rip, goodbye.
And like my whole team is around home plate, and they're like screaming their heads up. At that point, I was also the first one to ever, on that team, like hit a home run. You're not really supposed to go in the dugout as a parent. My mom comes running into the dugout and picks me up, and she's like shaking me, holding me, and she's like crying, she's screaming and crying, and it was just like a very surreal moment for me. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and grew up in a town called Crystal Lake. I've lived there my whole life. My parents have lived in the same house for like 20 plus years. My dad played college football at Oklahoma State. My mom played basketball at Nevada Reno. And my whole side of my mom's family, college athletes. Shout out to you, Mom and Dad.
Loved it, perfect.
I started playing softball when I was 4 years old. I just saw like my brother playing, and I was like, I want to play. So my dad takes me hitting one day. He throws the bat down. He goes to pick it up, and I picked it up lefty. I'm not a lefty, like, at all. And my mom is like, oh no, like, hold on, wait a minute, that's not right. And my dad's like, shh, be quiet, like, we want her to be a lefty.
And ever since?
Ever since then, I've been a lefty. And I remember the exact field that I played on, where we won like our 6U championship. I was so excited to get that little mini participation trophy.
You showed up?
Yeah, I did show up.
Were you good?
I don't think I've been naturally gifted. Things come a little bit harder to me, or for me, so that's why I have to put in a little bit extra work, do a little bit extra. So I started lifting when I was 11 years old. My dad is a retired UPS truck driver, and he was pretty overweight, and he wanted to get back in shape, and I was also not the healthiest kid as well. That's kind of how him and I created our bond, I guess, was going to the gym.
Up. Come on.
He ended up sneaking me into our very first gym, because you had to be 13, but I was 11 years old, and he told me to lie about my birthday.
Do you remember the moment when you could outlift your dad? I assume that happened.
Maybe I was a junior in high school. I think I got done deadlifting 425. And I slam it down, and I look at him, and the look on his face. Freshman year, that's when my recruiting process started. And so I was emailing a bunch of schools, writing handwritten letters, trying to get my name out there. So COVID hits, sophomore year. Recruiting process totally shut down, because basically the world was put on hold. And September 1st of your junior year is when schools can talk to you, and I get nothing. And I was in shambles. I was just so worried about the unknown, because there were so many unknown things going on at the time, and all of a sudden some of these schools reached out to me, and I went on a couple of visits, and then I think it was July 7th, going into my senior year, is when I committed to Northern Iowa.
Alexis leads the Panthers this season in home runs after hitting 17 as a freshman. As a sophomore, she already ranks number 2 in UNI history for career home runs.
After my sophomore year, all of a sudden I just wanted more for myself, and I wanted just to get more out of my college experience, and I decided to transfer. And it was one of the scariest things I had ever done in my whole life, because I was set. I had a boyfriend at the time too, And we're still together, so, but anyways, I think 2 days after the portal opened, I see, Patrick Murphy in my inbox. I think I read the email like 5 times. So I'm like, no way, like the Patrick Murphy, like the one I was just watching on TV a couple of days prior, like, no way.
Surreal.
Yeah, it was a very surreal moment for me.
When you watch a show or a TV show, and probably a lot of you have seen Lucille Ball. Maybe not. Maybe nobody has seen it. But there's a scene where they're crushing grapes and they're trying to make wine. And they get to the bottom of the barrel and they have all these grapes they're done. And they have got every single ounce of juice out of those grapes. And that's it. And that is this team. They squeezed every single ounce, and they got here beyond anything that I could ever imagine.
I transferred because I want to play on the biggest stage, play with people who were exactly like me, and go to a World Series.
Hey Bama fans, this is Alexis Pupillo. I'm so excited to be a part of the Alabama softball family. Can't wait. Roll Tide.
That's what ultimately made me take that leap of faith. I get here in the fall of last year. I'm in like the best shape of my life.
Pupillo ready to go. That one's smoked. Deep right field. It's a home run.
I'm playing pretty good the first couple weeks.
Pupillo into the right center field gap, and that's going to get all the way to the wall. Pupillo rounding first, heading to second, where she'll stand up with a 2-out double.
I'm doing really well.
Comes to Pupillo, she will score, and Alabama will win the ball game 8-0.
Now Pupillo in the cleanup spot with a chance to do some more damage and one down.
And then all of a sudden I just go completely down.
First double play of the tournament.
2-2 to Pupillo. Swing and a miss, and the second strikeout of the night for Landry.
Could not hit the ball.
Goes down on strikes after Pupillo was ahead in the count 3-0.
Could not do anything.
Ball gets away from Emerling. The tag is in time to get Pupillo.
That's what I'm known for. Like, I hit the ball.
Swing and a miss.
There was a lot of outside things that happened, like being long distance with somebody for the very first time. I lived alone too. Like, I should not have lived alone. I should have gotten a roommate. And I just decided that, okay, I'm gonna live alone, like, just because I don't know anybody and all that. I kind of just went inward a little bit, and I was just really feeling sorry for myself.
You can tell too that Coach Murphy is looking for Pupillo to find her mojo again in the box.
And the last out of my season last year.
Little squib left side, tough play. On the first!
I head first slid into first base to try to be safe. And we're walking off the field at Oklahoma, and I'm just sobbing my eyes out because I knew that I had more in me. And so I go home for the summer, almost at rock bottom mentally and physically, and I was determined to get my life in order and to come back a better version of myself. I'm a very routine, habitual type of person, and so I'm up every morning between 4:30 and 5 o'clock.
Hey guys, come with me to go hit.
Today I got up at 5 and I was at the gym by 5:36. do my devotional, read like my self-help books that I like to read, do a little bit of journaling, because it's not just like the physical aspect of the game is like maybe 10% of what the game actually is, but the other 90% is mental, and that's where I was lacking. I was so afraid of getting out. I was so afraid of failing, of like what the repercussions would be of getting out. It's gonna happen. I picked a game that's 80% failure. And to have the expectation that you were not gonna fail is unrealistic, right? And so that was just something that I had to get over. And so like not being afraid of failing. My goal was to continue to maintain my good habits, which is so hard because during the season, like everything kicks up so fast that all of a sudden now you're out of routine. And that's why I'm such like I have to do my routine and be so strict with everything that I do.
The reach base streak will continue and Pupillo's on with one out here in the third.
So that nothing gets out of order, because that's where I went wrong last year.
And now Pupillo sends it to right. And this will be extra bases.
But also coming back from previous year where I had not connected so much with many of my teammates, I'm like, okay, I am going to connect with as many people as I possibly can and not leave a stone unturned.
Baby, 1, 2, 3, baby, you!
Because what we preach as a softball team is mudita, which means vicarious joy for other people's success.
We're going to put our egos aside, and we're going to do whatever we need to do to get back to Oklahoma City. Not about me, all about we. Okay? We're going to be filled with mudita like you wouldn't believe.
That's what I had to do. I've never had to play the role of teammate, just teammate. And so I was always the first one out of the dugout, always the first one to grab a chart, to do charting, tried to have a smile on my face, even if I wasn't feeling like amazing, because I needed to show up for the other people around me. Cheerleader, making sure that everybody needs what they need, you know, making sure that people feel confident. It really took a lot for me to try to pour into the other people around me and kind of like get out of myself and like get into other people, which is so hard in general when you don't feel good or like don't feel like you are producing. If a hitter needed help, if I was like seeing something from the dugout that maybe they weren't seeing, like I would go up and have those conversations with them or just like try to cheer as loud as I could. Whatever our team needed, I wanted to bring. Like there are so many little aspects of a team that nobody sees. They only see like the people that are playing on the field. Like there are so many other things happening in the dugout and just like behind the scenes that nobody sees.
Smoked! Slumping no more!
On our team, we have these things called intangibles. And it's like, what do you bring to the team that is not a physical thing? It's just you. And mine was, I bring the confident attitude of wanting the moment when the game calls upon me. Like, you know, bases loaded, 2 outs. You're down by 2. You know, like you have to come through and get the job done. So from that point, that head first slide, until right now, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in the best mental space that I've possibly been in. I'm like the closest with my family, the closest with my coaches, all of my teammates, because of that self-reflection.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
What really spoke to me was how Murph has created such a culture of person first, athlete second. And there are so many things that we do as a team that have helped us be better people. Like if you leave Alabama a better person And whether you played or not, like, that is a win in our books. My name is Alexis Pupillo, and I play softball at the University of Alabama.